Read an interesting article this morning. Go banking rates, and this was published by Yahoo Finance, listed Lafayette as one of the 50 best places to buy a home for under $250,000. And they were able, here's the synopsis from the article. They were able to determine the 50 best places to buy homes under $250,000 by reviewing the 100 most populous cities where home values from February of 24 to 25 did not go above $250,000 and averaged below this amount via Zillow data. And I bring that up to say, one, let's understand where this is coming from and what the data is, but two, we're going to look a little into that data ourselves. Also ranked things like median household income, livability scores, violent crime rates, property crime rates, unemployment rates, population living below the poverty line, so on and so forth. And Lafayette ranked, of course, I'm going to search for it and it doesn't come up, so I'm going to scroll to it. There, okay. On this list of 50, they ranked Lafayette at 17 with an average home value $240,402 with a livability score of 75 out of 100. They gave it median household income of $52,946, so basically $53,000, an unemployment rate of 3.6%, with 17.1% of our population living below the poverty line, a violent crime rate per 1,000 residents of 5.1, and a property crime rate per 1,000 residents of 21.41. So really, really low. So what this article was, I think, focused on two groups. Homeowners looking for affordable housing. It's funny that $250,000 is what we're talking about when we talk about affordable housing, but welcome to housing in 2025. And two, livability and some stats that relate to that. What do you think about those numbers? Because I got some opinions. I definitely have some opinions, and I'm going to look at some live data. They talked about this being from Zillow, and if you hear any realtor talk about Zillow, we generally don't have a whole lot good to say about Zillow. There is some good, of course, but there's some business practices there, some behind the scenes stuff that y'all never hear about, hopefully never hear about. But then there is also the fact the Zestimate is, this is what my house is worth, and it doesn't factor in all of the data. So sometimes it's right, but sometimes it's not. But that was the source of their data. So I'm going live into the MLS here. That's the multiple listing service. This is where all listings for realtors here in the area originate from. So whether you see them through your realtor on Zillow, at Realtor.com, or any of the other myriad of realty websites out there, this is the database that all of that information is pulled from. And I'm searching February 1st, 2024 to February 1st of 2025, so February to February, the exact same as last year. There are 1,807 solds in that year, and the median sold price, $299,900. So the median is that statistical number where if you have 1,800 homes that sold, that means the median is the halfway number from 0 to 1,800. So it's about sale number 903 and a half. So 903 or 904 would be 299. So 300,000. The average is total up all 1,807 of those sales, divide by 1,807. And sometimes you get a big spread on an average versus a median. In this particular case, they're relatively close, 299.9 at basically an even $300,000 versus an average of 325,979. It's a spread of about $26,000. It's not huge. It's 25 divided by 3. It's about 8% spread or so. Not nothing, but not giant either. But this is the real sold data over the last year. And I don't say this to be argumentative. I say this to say two things. One, always vet your information. Check your information. This article is talking about data based on a database of home values over the last year. What exactly that means is a little open for debate. Is that solds? Is that an average of some algorithm that says what houses are worth versus what they actually sold for? Is those are things that were actively on the market versus everything that exists in a market? I don't know. It doesn't say. Maybe there's a footnote somewhere that will link, but at the top of the article where it explains it, it doesn't say that. But despite the inherent numbers of this article being wrong and me saying take that as a lesson to always vet your sources and your data, I would still come to the same conclusion. While I didn't index all of the numbers for exactly what they listed, so they've got average home value, they've put livability scores, median household incomes, unemployment rates, so on and so forth. We can go search those out, and they're going to be not so off of what these numbers say. They're probably going to be in the ballpark. So I think that we're going to get to basically the same conclusion, that the numbers back up that it is a good place to invest. But the numbers are slightly different. I'm going to look at it one other way real quick. I want to examine their data. Let's break it down one other way. To be fair, I realized that as I set this search up as I was prepping for the show, that I did want to examine it a couple of different ways. And those numbers that I just tossed out there were for all of Tippecanoe County. If we look at just Lafayette, and these are homes with Lafayette addresses, it does bring the price down a little bit. It brings the median down to $260,000, which is $10,000 over the $250,000 that the article's talking about. But the average is still sitting up there, is $286,000, $271,000, so still approaching the $300,000 mark. What does that mean? Why am I going on and on about this article and about these numbers? It's because, one, things like this drive me nuts. I like to know where the data is coming from. I like to know exactly what the data says, but I also really, really love where we live in Lafayette, West Lafayette, all of Tippecanoe County. Really love living here. I'm here by choice. There are many, many places to live in the world, and there are many reasons to live here, and I do love it. And I think that it is a good place to live. I think it is a great place to invest, but it does take some legwork. But we continue to see over and over and over and over again, Lafayette, West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County show up on these lists of great places to live, great places to buy, great places to invest. And despite my picking apart of this particular article and their data and how exactly it looks, I'm still a champion for the area and for home here. And with that being said, if you're interested in home here in the greater Lafayette area, whether you're looking to buy or sell somewhere that you're going to live, or you're interested in investing, because the way to financial freedom is through investing and not working, I'd love to work with you. Please go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, fill out the information, and let's get to work. And let's see if we can change the numbers for the positive here in the greater Lafayette area.